And howdy, folks. Welcome, one and all, to another wonderful evening with Javi Unboxed. Let me switch over to the comments here so I could see everybody. And let me say my howdies. First of all, hey, Russ, how's it going today?
Outstanding.
Excelente. Good to see you made it through the hurricane nice and unscathed.
Well, we sure did, but you're trying to be nice for the folks out there with all that backstabbing and yapping you were giving me before.
Yeah, us Miamians. Anything under if you leave for anything under a category 6, which there is none, you're a wimp. So anyway, so let's get back to the show here. Okay, so hello, Dennis. Hello, Mike. John, how are you? Welcome, Jason. Kevin from Philadelphia. I always like to see it. Kevin always starts the same way. Hello from Philadelphia. He must really like it there.
Yeah.
Glenn,
he's a DJ.
Yep. Yeah. Kevin Els, Mako, Leo Steger, and unless it's Steger. No, it's Steger. Troy, welcome. And Hitch, good to see you. Paul, good to see you as well. And that brings me up to date. So let us begin our wonderful chat about being organized. Now, you might think, oh, wait a second. This guy, I've just seen that introductory video where he's got a mess of stuff everywhere. How can he be organized? Well, what you didn't see was the organization of the stuff. And more on that later. But basically, we're all flawed in a sense. Let me not generalize, but many of us are cut from the same cloth when it comes to organization. And I'm talking about whether you're talking about organization for your business, your cubicle at your office, if you have one, your kitchen, your library, your if you have one, or your shop. I mean, it's all part of the same idea. Organization is being organized has little to do with how a place looks. I want to make that perfectly clear, but rather how it functions. So organization to one person maybe is completely different from organization to another. Right? I've had friends who have had the neatest location. You go there and it's the neatest thing in the world. It looks so pristine, looks so beautiful, but they can't get out of their own way because when they try to find something, they could never find it. When some particular friends of mine have such a neat place, but not organized neat. It's just, it looks nice. It looks clean, but nobody can find anything. So it's kind of unproductive. It's the opposite. Whereas the opposite also happens. I have some friends that, I've got a buddy of mine who fixes small engine. He does small engine repair on the side. And if you see his bench, oh my God, it's Calamity Jane. I don't know how in the world he sees anything, but everything's in its perfect place. He brings an engine down and he knows where every tool is and everything works for him. So remember, organizing is about how a place functions, not how a place looks. Now, here's a few misconceptions about organizing. Okay, it's organizing. Some people say organizing is a talent. No, it's a skill. Plain and simple, it's a skill, and anybody can develop that skill if they don't have it developed. Another misconception: organizing is an undaunting task. It's not. It's a simple step-by-step formula, and it's not one simple step-by-step formula. It's many. You pick up a bunch of different organization books and and you'll see a bunch of different ways of doing it, but it's hardly undaunting. Another misconception is it's impossible to stay organized. That's not true either. And it doesn't involve habits or anything like that. It involves tailoring the organization to your particular style. Don't. I see many YouTube videos out there, and nothing against those videos of a shop tour, and they go, wow, that shop looks perfect. I want my shop to be exactly like that. Well, I personally don't, because I know if my shop was personally like that, it would be it would be complete chaos the next day, because I don't work the way someone else works. So you got to plan it out. And the last misconception, which is a big one, and everyone will agree it is a misconception, is organizing is an unproductive use of your time. No, it's not, because spending that time to be organized will eventually lead to more productive time for you. Now, if you're already at a level where stuff in one room's all a mess, it doesn't bother you, but you don't use it, that's a whole different story. But unproductive use of your time, it's very productive use, because if you do organize that one area, you'll have you may not have extra time, you may not have extra production, but you will have extra peace of mind. So there's always a benefit. Now, let me see. So like I said, we got to customize your organizational schedule, your technique. First things first is you got to plan. Don't leap before you look. Don't start, I got to clean this place up, and then you just clean and organize and neaten everything up. And well, that's nice, and it'll probably maybe give you peace of mind for a moment, but then you're going to be back to the it's never going to stay clean. Or stay organized. Look at all the obstacles that are preventing you from being organized. That's one of the things you got to do. And by all means, never. And I'll stop to address the crowd here in a second. But never, always, don't change yourself. Always, don't adapt. Adapt the organizational skill to you. Don't adapt to the organizational skill, because you got to be who you are, particularly people, in the prime of life. We're not 14-year-olds or 10-year-olds that can learn a bunch of new skills and the whole world is teaching us. And even them, they're already set in their ways a certain amount. So we're far more. So remember, adapt the process to you. Hello, Bobby. Welcome. Good to see you. And good. I'm glad to see it's oh yeah. Let me highlight the comments. I keep forgetting that I can highlight them here. And yes, Leo Steger. And so, yeah, Larry, my shop is a mess, but I know where everything is. Yeah, exactly. And there's a lot of people like that. There's a lot of, mine's the same way. And it's kind of funny you say that, Larry, because my office at home, I've got certain areas that are extremely well organized and nice and neat because I've gotten to them. I've gotten some areas that are overwhelming because I don't have enough space. So the clutter has just amassed, which is why I'm building the whole new garage and the new house and everything. And then I've got some other areas which they're perfect for me. My office is one that's actually perfect. And wherever I place stuff, I seem to remember always where I left it. Most of the time, because I do it 2 or 3 times, I do them in the same place. It's the weirdest locations for certain objects. You go, that's not organized. No, but I know exactly where it is. And it just so happens I always leave it in that same place. Whereas my wife comes along and I love her to death. I love her to death. I want to say she thinks she's helping me, and I agree she is. So I I never tell her don't do it. But when I'm away sometimes for a week or so and she's bored, she'll go into my office and she'll completely organize it and neaten it up. It's a double-edged sword because on the one hand, oh, all the clutter is gone and I've got this just feeling of relaxation and stuff. On the other hand, Hun, where's this? Hun, where's this? Oh, I put it over here, put it over here, put it over here. So I have to connect to all the items. That doesn't happen if you're fully organized, but well, you guys know what I'm talking about.
Oh yeah.
Yep. Troy has organized chaos. Yeah, I completely get it. I completely understand. Hey, Poot, how's it going? Organization itself is in the eye of the beholder. And as exactly as you say, as I said, it's what works for one person does not work for another one. So anyway, let's move on to the next little step in case you do want to. Well, this whole session is basically to hopefully give you guys some insights, give you some structure, and if you are in the mood to reorganize something, and hopefully a little motivation, and I'll give you a nice little formula to organize stuff. So there's three main things that I use. And one is first analyze the situation. You have to. You can't just like I said earlier. You can't just grab and start neatening stuff. You have to figure out what's most important to you, what you use the most, what et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. You got to strategize. Second step is to strategize everything. So first, analyze everything that you own. Second, strategize where you're going to. Next step is actually do it. So basically, plan, like common sense. Plan, look at everything, plan everything, and then do it. Mm-hmm. So here are some of the reasons why some people remain disorganized or are disorganized. Here's some of the materialistic reasons. I read a great book called Organizing from the Inside Out by Julie Morgenstein. So if you guys ever get a chance, I highly recommend that. And she states that some are technical errors, external realities, and psychological realities. Well, I see them a little differently, but let's talk about her technical errors. Okay, number one, an item has no home. It's difficult to stay organized. Okay, I finished using this piece. I don't have a specific place for it. So one time it'll be here, one time it'll be here. I'll always remember where it is, but one time it'll be here. It won't be organized. If I had a specific drawer for all my electronic handles, boom, then that's where it goes. That's exactly where it belongs. And guess what? Now it's organized. So that's one of the reasons why some things, and that's easy to fix. Second is inconvenient storage. You're storing items way too far. It would make absolutely no sense if I'm at an electronics workbench to set a set of cutters on the other side of my shop. I got to go get them again, and if you're going to have to go put them away at the other side of your shop, you're never going to put them away. So there's another reason. So consider that. And it's a simple matter of reorganizing, again, planning out what and where everything goes. Another reason, and this is a big one for a lot of people, with a caveat, more stuff than storage space. Yeah, I'm renowned for that one.
Yeah.
But I gotta tell you though, that is a dangerous, and this is what I'll say, it is a dangerous, I'll say, excuse. It can be a dangerous excuse, not a valid reason.
I got a question.
Yeah.
I got on that note.
Ask
Well, you
away.
were talking about your wife organizes, and you tell her you can't tell her not to organize. You just have to redo it when you come back.
Well, I don't
Now,
redo it. I actually enjoy when she reorganizes because,
well, the
yeah,
reason I asked that question is because my wife has threatened to come outside and organize my shop because I've
that's,
got stuff
I'll,
everywhere,
I'll say this. I'll say this.
and I don't want her to.
Welcome. I would say welcome the opportunity for her to do it, but set a couple limits. If not, then set your foot down if that's at all possible with our wives.
Yeah,
We're happily married, so we don't set our foot down on anything.
no, we really
But
can't.
but the point is, my wife, she knows how upset I get if she throws something away because it's happened before. You threw this away one time. I don't remember who it was. Because her and both my daughters were cleaning, they threw away. It just so happens I left it out of place.
Mhm.
So it was a plastic lid and the little nylon nut for the shop vac filter.
Oh,
So I was changing the filter. I never finished changing it. I had to get a new one. I went to go out and get a new one, but then I don't know, for whatever reason, it never got put back together. I knew exactly where it was. It was sitting on a thing. Well, that's just garbage. Boom.
Jesus.
And it cost me $5, and that's one of many examples that one, not that many examples, but my wife knows. She even leaves the garbage. She throws stuff away that she knows absolutely is garbage, like an empty box,
Mhm.
and she will leave the garbage bag there. In case I've lost something, I will rifle through the garbage, and just in case,
Yeah.
But for the most part, especially if she surprises me with a cleaning, I go, look, it's all over there just in case. So we're good at that. But I love it when she organizes, because it does give me a little clarity of mind and a little bit of a jump start in my organization. So that's just me. Let's see. Let me look real quick here. My kids organize my garage and I can't find anything. They mean well, but they don't have photographic memory and a sixth sense. Exactly. That's the thing with a lot of us. I got CRS. I can't remember a lot of things, but when it comes to my stuff, I always seem to somehow inherently, I think that's built into us, remember the last place we put it most of the time. And let's see here. So then I hauled off hundreds of computers, monitors, printers to Goodwill Recycling. I donated so much they said no more.
Wow.
That's great. Hey, Bob, how's it going? So
Hey,
let
Bob.
us. It's good to see Bob here. Okay, so let's continue. So we're continuing with the technical reasons why organization sometimes doesn't last. And the third one, like I said, is more stuff than storage space. Now, this is a technical error, not a psychological one. Because remember, there's also the psychological one that, no, I'm sorry, the external one. There's also the real external one that you have limited space. Okay, so let me clarify the difference. The technical error is that you have more stuff than storage space, but but you have the space. It's just you have to add storage units, you have to reduce your possessions, you have to stretch the storage space and make spaces. So it's not really that you have a lot of stuff, it's that you've accumulated a bunch of stuff. Later we'll talk about how to reduce certain things and certain emotional attachments to stuff. There's some people that have accumulated stuff that they haven't used in 15 years.
Mm-hmm.
And you've been spending money to save this for 15 years. Time is money. Space is money. Well, I go on. So there is a difference between the technical problem of storage and the real true external reality that, oh well, I've got like, for instance, in my case, it's a little of both. There's a lot of stuff right now. I've got boxes and boxes and boxes of stuff that I'm going to sell on eBay, but I haven't gotten around to it. Worst case scenario, if I'm forced, that goes in the garbage. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas I'm storing it because I have extra space, but it's still taking up space. On the other hand, I've got a router table, a saw table, a huge 7x7 CNC router, on and on and on with woodworking tools that can easily be accommodated in a 40x40 shop, and it's all stacked up on top of each other in a 10x20 room. And you know when you have to drag a tool outside to work out in the backyard and then bring it back in when you're finished, that there's an external reality going on there. Anyways, so another one is a complex or confusing system. This is number 4, your technical errors. You have a confused, non-standardized, or not standardized, I don't like to use that word, a confusing system. You've got, look, I've got all my bench stuff here. If I started putting, like I did, my food and my wheat thins, this is not the place for it. Well, that is, because that's a little, but this is not the place for it. See, I got some wheat thins here. That doesn't belong here. Et cetera, et cetera. So you sectionalize, compartmentalize. That's the biggest thing that you should do. Okay, so then another problem that you have is the out of sight, out of mind issue. And that is there are so many things that number one, you either need a tool or a pen or a notepad or whatever. You need an item, and unfortunately you can't find it because you packed it away so well that and you've got so much stuff that it's just, again, this all goes back to analyzing and organizing and stuff, but it's your system is mostly the problem. But then there's the other issue of some people want to be so neat, and I get it, because I'm one of those people. They want to have everything behind a drawer. If you don't label those drawers or instinctively know which drawer is which, basically all the drawers look the same. You're going to have to go through every single drawer to look. That takes time. And half the time you end up putting the stuff away in the wrong drawer. So, I mean, again, this all goes back down to the wonderful word organization. So, and the last one, of course, I don't know. Now, this book I read once, it said the technical error is organizing is boring. I don't consider that a technical error. I consider that just a psychological one. But, but think about it this way. Again, it's your time. So organizing is boring sometimes, but it's necessary to gain more time for you for the important stuff. So now we've covered all the technical or the errors. Now, here's more reasons. Again, I'll get to the actual technique in a few minutes, but these are the reasons why things fail. And I like to understand everything. And when some of the external realities, for instance, for lack of organization, an unrealistic workload. That's big with a lot of us. We don't start organizing because that's way too big of a of a task. It's an undaunting task. Or our work is such that it takes up all our time, so we don't have time to organize. I mean, it's a simple solution. Track your time. Write down the tasks, how long you think they'll take, and then when you track your time and you track how long you think each task takes, and then you actually track how long they take. I know that part's kind of boring, unless you're OCD like I am, and then you'll see the difference between, oh, I estimated that it will only take an hour. It took 5.5. Now I know where all my time is going. Another external reality is, let's say you're in transition. So you just moved, you get a new marriage, a new school, retirement, a death of somebody close, a birth of a grandchild, or a birth of somebody, a new career, a new job. All of these changes in your life is a reality that may cause you to be disheveled. Another one is no privacy. Sometimes people have a problem because it's not just your bench. It's your bench and somebody else's bench. It's your shop and somebody else's shop. And this happens with a lot of us. It's your stuff and your wife is going to borrow it, or your son is going to borrow it, or your dad is going to borrow it. And everybody's got access to it. So those are realistic problems. External interruptions is another one. You can be constantly interrupted, and then you're never going to get anything. There have been times, and tell me if you guys are having this issue. There are times where I'm on a roll, I'm in the zone, and I'm doing my little thing. Sometimes it's organizing my room. Sometimes it's a project that I'm working on. Sometimes it's a surprise for my wife that I've long put off, and then finally I'm in the zone. And all of a sudden, my daughter, my wife, my brother, my parents, whoever, call me with an issue and a question, or a friend, and completely pull me out of the zone.
Oh, yeah.
How often does that happen? That's a big one. That's a big one, particularly to people who have ADD and are easily distracted. So that's it happens. It happens. And then of course, like I said earlier, sometimes external realities, sometimes there just isn't enough room. And psychological options. Okay. Let me give you a series of questions which I found, which are extremely useful. If you answer yes, and I'm willing to bet 90% of the people in this show will answer yes to at least 3 of these questions, there is a psychological obstacle in play. And I feel that people will answer yes, because I think I've answered no to 2 of them. And there's 17.
All right, folks. Don't answer. He'll know you're psychological.
yeah, there you go. So here are some questions, and feel free to play this back later and think about it. Number 1, does extra space, make you nervous? Are you a visual person? Do you buy in bulk? Are you emotionally attached to many or any of your things? Do you love seeing everything just to look at it? You like seeing it all, or do you want it all hidden? Are you buying more storage to hold all your stuff? Do you harass yourself with the mantra, I've got to get organized? Do you spend more time reorganizing than working? Do you neglect social occasions just to stay home and organize? That's a good one.
Yeah.
Are you always organizing and never satisfied with the system you set up? Or are you always reorganizing a system and you're never satisfied with the system you set up? Does your disorganization keep you from delegating work to others? Does your clutter prevent you from having visitors? Not in your house, in your room, or wherever. Did you grow up in an extremely chaotic household? Did you grow up in an extremely orderly household? Yeah, too much of anything. Did you have a traumatic childhood? Does your clutter go back 15 years or more? And last but not least, are you a high achiever who must do anything or everything perfectly? See, that last one really hit a note when I read it. That last one for me is because I strive for perfection in many ways, and it's a very big stumbling block in all my life because I told myself I'm not going to start this unless I can finish it perfectly. So you never start it. I have learned over time, this is my best advice to those of you who have this particular issue. I've learned in life, number one, to sectionalize, compartmentalize, do things in tiny, elephant bites. Elephant bites. How do you eat an elephant? Small bites, one bite at a time. Do things in small bites, and do that perfect. But the big thing is accept the fact that nothing has to be all or nothing. It's just that's the way. Yeah. So, all right. So let's see here. Let me read some more of my notes. Actually, let me take a look real quick at catch up on some of the comments here. And let's see. Wow, way back here. Okay, where am I?
Troy Pritchard was the last comment you stopped at.
Troy Pritchard. Let's see here. The good evening or?
No, it's like a couple teenagers doing dishes. They never put the dishes where they've been stored for years.
Hang on a second.
That's 7:22, 8:22 your time.
Thank you. Hang on. Eye of the beholder. Here we go. So true. LOL. And kids are organized. 6 cents. I read that one. Here we go. I haven't gotten to these. Workflow is the key to me. Yep. That's it in a nutshell, Jason. It's it's all about workflow. And that happens. That happens with many of us. And I find one thing that when I have a clean desk, it's more than just why didn't I hang on a second? Go back to my there we go. This wonderful. I keep forgetting this. I keep forgetting this one has the. All right. Well, it's more than just being functional. Like right now, this is perfectly functional for my hobby boxes and everything and creating CNC controllers. However, if the whole entire room is neat and impeccable and always picked up, I psychologically at least want to get back to work. Whereas if it's a little messy, I tend to, it's functional when I sit down, but it's hard to begin. It's hard to start. When it's clean, it's easy to start. There's the big one for me. But yeah, and let's see. Yeah, if the tools can't fit in my back pocket, I have no idea where they are, and sometimes I forget to look in my in my pockets. That's good.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see here. So I hauled off 100. Yeah, okay. So that one I got. Let's see, I'm skipping a few of them, and I got Bob. That was the last one I got. Okay. My shop looks like a Foot Locker from when I was in the service. That could work. Let me tell you, I'll tell you one thing on that note. Speaking of Foot Lockers, and when I first got out to the property and I was working out of the RV and I didn't have a lot of storage to put anything, and my wife was visiting every now and then, so I have a little. Basically, I had to use the two little compartments I could, and I arranged and forced myself to arrange specifically every tool I needed. It's very convenient to have a small space, even if it is a mess, a small box with all your stuff in it. Something that takes 2 seconds to dump, you could find your stuff and then throw it all back in. Even because when it's that minimal amount of stuff, it's quick. You multiply that times a garage, now you got a problem. Let's see here.
JFab just joined us.
Welcome, Johnny. All right, so I'm not attached to the stuff, more of a steward for other people. I like that.
Oh yeah.
Like a couple of teenagers doing dishes, they never put the dishes where they've been stored for years. Oh, I hear you, but then again, I'm guilty of that too. Good evening, Big D. How's it going? Let's see. Food and wheat thins. Well, I got the other piece of food that I showed was croissants. So the wheat thins are still in their sealed bag. The croissants are halfway gone. So you get an idea of where my priorities lie. So let's see here. Big D, and
this has been a good show for my wife because she's just recently, within the last month or so, started looking at YouTube videos on organizing.
Yep,
it's unbelievable. That I don't know how you come up with a topic she's already started doing. I said, "Oh my goodness, she's getting ready to go on my shop."
Well, tell her to watch the show. I've got a lot more coming, and we still haven't even gotten to the process yet.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's let's see here. Let's catch up to the end. We're almost there. And that's funny. Day by day, good to hear. Zig Ziglar, yep.
Yeah.
Yep. Johnny finally made it. And let's see here. So, yep. So, all right. So, let's get to the next section, which is basically okay. So, here's another psychological issue for a lot of you. For a lot of us, or for some of us, afraid of success. Sometimes, that's one of the ones that was pointed out in a number of books that I've read on organizing. And it's, you're afraid of success. You're afraid of actually finishing something. I think that's a load of crap. Personally, I'm one of those people that say, you're afraid of this, get over it. Get over it. Stay motivated. Force yourself. Get an organizational partner. That always works for me whenever I have a problem with something, whether it's with a problem with starting something or doing something. In business, when I had an issue with certain aspects of my business, I had a problem. I didn't have a problem with sales. I had a problem with the financial stuff. It would just put me to sleep. I didn't want to get started on the accounting. I knew how to do it all. I knew how to put together a cash flow, a balance sheet, and the cash flow and sales, and all the paperwork I could do, but I never wanted to do it. And I wasn't at a position where I could hire an accountant like now, but I would always have an accountability partner. Somebody, hopefully in my line of work, but it could be a friend. It could be somebody that you're close to, or somebody in the same shoes. Let's say somebody's about to be organizing their office and you're organizing your office. Call each other up. Tell each other, many's the time, not with organization, but many's the time I called Dave Gatton and said, listen, I'm doing this today. sometimes we were stuck in a rut. I mean, he would do whatever he needed to do, but above and beyond, both of us felt a little, maybe it was just for a couple days, but regardless, stagnated. And all of a sudden we started calling each other every day. Hey, what did you do today? What did you do today? And just to have something to tell somebody is motivation enough to get you started on doing something.
Yeah, that's a big help.
Sometimes that's it. And it helps to, I'm sure if I call Russ and every day and say, hey, what did you do today? Come on, get on the ball, do this, and likewise, what did you do today? And stuff, He's got his wife to push him, so that's not a problem.
Oh, yeah, she puts her foot in my butt.
but anyway, the point is organization. I mean, a motivational partner, an accountability partner, whatever you want to call it. That's always a great, share the fear and get over it. So the secret to organizing is it's no secret. And again, like I said, I say all these things with the caveat, take everything with a grain of salt, do it your own way, whatever's most comfortable for you, your design. This is what works for me. The secret to organizing for me is sectionalize and compartmentalize. Organize the sections. Organize in sections. Each section, once that section is perfect, don't mess with it. Once you get to a certain portion, and this is what a lot of people do. They'll organize a section, then they'll go to the next section, and they go, you know what? This could be used in the first section. And, or first of all, they'll either mess up the first section with what they're organizing there because they didn't have it instilled in their head, don't touch this. Or they'll go, you know what? Let me go back to this section because I can do better. No. That's a big no. That will basically, now you're in a loop and now you'll never get it done. You organize one section, you move on to the next. When all the sections are done, and only then, if you ever get that far, when all the sections are done, that way you can go back to the first. By that time, enough time has passed where either you've accustomed yourself to that section and it works for you, or you know exactly what you have to fix, but you're not going to be rearranging it every few seconds.
Right on.
There's no such thing as tweaking. Oh, let me tweak this. Let me tweak this. You'll be tweaking forever. And I know because I'm a lifelong tweaker that, But anyway, so again, I don't know. As opposed to being a lifelong twerker like some people.
That's not something I want to see on a show, okay?
No, definitely not. Definitely not. That's not this type of show. Anyway, so the secret to organization, like I said, is sectionalize and compartmentalize. Do that section, continue to the next section. If you have to reorder the first section, don't. Make a note, and when all the sections are done, read your notes and start over each time. Notes are fantastic. And I'll get to more about that on the emotional things in a second. So, one thing that is fantastic for the process. Let's get to the process. Now, last couple things I have to mention. One is beware of sentimental attachment. And this is where the little notes, or I should say pictures, come in. I had an issue some time ago where I had 2 boxes of memories that I've been keeping for years. But they're big crates of memories. Useless. Some of these were useless. I created my first, a lot of stuff that was very, very personal to me. You've seen a picture somewhere actually it's in the beginning of the show. That's how sentimental I am about it. I have a D battery from Radio Shack, an original D battery. It's in my memories drawer. I have a battery card,
Yeah.
Not useful. Mm-hmm. It's great to reflect upon. It's great to do memory, but you're going to keep it only to tell somebody that you have it. I'm sorry. After so many times of doing it, I just realized that's just plain stupid. I could show them a picture. And it occurred to me, I could take a picture of all these things. And I took 1 hour and I scanned everything in that box, and it's all in one file in a computer, and the box is in the garbage. And it was a beautiful thing, because 2 boxes actually. So sometimes if you really are that emotionally attached to something, but it is completely useless, worthless, and not good for anything, dump it. Kind of the same goes for pictures. A lot of people keep crates and crates and crates of old pictures. We're living in the past, because as long as they're digitized, they're going to remain forever. You're thinking, "Oh my God, what if we lose them?" I'm one that backs up everything. You could just as easily lose the real pictures through rot, through misplacement, through getting them wet, or through people will throw them away. When you die, 90% of your stuff is going in the garbage. So don't be sentimental. Take photos and dump it. All right. So anyway, the process. 3 steps. Simple. Look, analyze and plan, and do it. So the first part, look, see what's working. Okay? What's working in your surrounding? That's very, very important question to ask yourself when you start organizing. If it ain't broke, don't fix it. If something's working for you, why are you going to reorganize that? I mean, don't touch it. Organize the rest. Make it look nice and neat, but keep it working. What's not working? What can't you find? Ask yourself this question. I can never find this. Shouldn't you have it a lot closer to you from now on? Make sure that's a priority. There's no room in my place for this. Those are, this is costing me time and money. Every time something is costing you time and money. If it's not working, change it. Now look for the most essential things that you need. It's important to have goals. I don't care what kind of goals, personal goals, but a person told me, a business manager told me a long time ago, I have a feeling this session might go a little longer than 9, but not by much. A personal trainer, business coach of mine said, "How do you get to Disney?" And I go, "You go north. If you go north, you're never going to get to Disney. You're going to get to the general direction of Disney, and that's how most people's goals are." Now, I'm in Miami. For most of you guys, you go south. But if that's your goal, it's a very loose goal, and it's not going to get you anywhere, and it's not going to pinpoint. Now, if you take the turnpike, you make a left at exit 251 and the right, if you give specific instructions down to park in dopey parking lot number 17, or Chippendale, then that now you know exactly where your car is even. But the point is, have specific goals in mind ahead of time. Because if you're organizing with no reason other than to just organize to clean then you're just neatening the place up. You might as well just throw stuff in boxes and make everything look neat. That's not organizing. Organizing, remember, at the beginning of the show, organizing is finding functionality, not finding, cleanliness or a magical thing. It's finding functionality. So, your business goals, your personal goals, your family goals, whatever they may be, whatever you happen to already, let's say you're retired and you're happy with the way things are working right now. I love what I'm doing. I'm making hobby boxes. I'm working on my land, and for the next 3 years, I'll be doing that. Whatever. Well, then your goals for the next 3 years are to continue doing what you're doing. So organize to that. So remember, organization is personal, not standardized. Nothing I tell you is set in stone. Adapt it to whatever works best for you. And of course, ask yourself, what's causing me problems? What's causing me to not to stay organized? This, well, move it out of the way, Okay. So now you know your goals. Your next step is simple: to sectionalize and compartmentalize. You got to plan everything first. Plan easy spots, and again, you got to take this, you got to be a little flexible, because while you're doing it, the plan might change. So go back and forth, but try to stick to the plan. Plan every spot that's easy to get to, easy to see. And here's another good concept. Plan it so it's quick and fun. I know I hate those words too, but quick and fun to put your stuff away. Think about it this way. If you have, and that's why a lot of us buy custom, Kazon foam and have to cut it out. That's why a lot of us have organization. That's why we buy storage compartments specially made for this. And then because we want it to be fun, so we know where to put away stuff. But, don't overdo it to a point where you got nothing but storage compartments and then you don't know where to put anything away. Do it so, my pliers, my cutters go here. My clippers go here. This thing goes here. I don't even know what they're called anymore. I can't think. My strippers go here, and these are the 5 tools I use for just about every tool. Here's my soldering iron. Here's my heat gun. And I've got my glue gun thrown around where it shouldn't be. So there's all I need. Everything else is materials. Now, make it fun to put away. And when you do that, you're more likely to put it away. Okay, so plan. Map everything out. As soon as you map it out, move, build, buy whatever you must to complete this task. However, don't go crazy buying a bunch of storage containers that in the end you may not even use. Your time is another factor for the plan. Be realistic in your time. Here's my average. My average is 60 square feet or 500 cubic feet, 8 foot, because sometimes you're up really high. Let's say 60 square feet per day. I know that's nothing. That's 10 by 6. I got a lot of boxes and I got a lot to sort through. So be realistic. I've actually measured the time, and that's what it actually is. So, and I'm one of those that can do this the whole entire day. And that's what it comes to. You don't want to say, I can knock out a whole container in half a day. You can't. Not if it's filled with the stuff that I got it filled with. Anyway, so okay, so step 1, if you want to go by steps now. Knowing all of this and having a plan and knowing your time and knowing the map and all that. Step 1, and this one I take from, again, from Organizing from the Inside Out, Julie Morgenstern. She had a little acronym. Her acronym was SPACE. Sort, purge, assign, containerize, that's a crazy word, and evaluate. I kind of have different words, but it's valid. Sort your stuff first. Do I use this? Oh, yes. I use this. This is always by me. I'm not putting this in a container. Do I love this? Oh, yes. Okay. What category does this belong to? Right? So categorize everything. Take care of, now here's a trick to sorting and in your process. When you start organizing, do what's visible first. That's a big thing. Now remember, it kind of goes a little bit against what I said about sectionalizing, because I have mixed feelings about it. Do it in sections, but start with what's apparently out of order and visual first. And the reason I say that is because this is more of a psychological thing. When you take care of what's visible first, remember, you're certainly not going to get it all done in a day. Unless you got a small room and you can, but when you look back, you're not going to be going, "Oh, I didn't get anything done. I'm overwhelmed. I quit." You're going to look back and you go, "Wow, this thing's completely changed. Let's continue." Boom. 9 times out of 10, you might just say, "Oh, I'm done." but assuming you want to continue, let's continue. Okay, so don't delay. Here's a big one for sorting. Now we're talking about sorting now. Don't delay the decision-making process. Okay, this belongs in electronics. Or does it belong in... No. Make a decision and stick to it. You can change your mind later, but you can't be, it's like all of a sudden you're going to go, "Oh, wow, this reminds me of the time that..." Tell me if this hasn't happened to you. "This reminds me of the time in high school when I used to connect these cables and mic to the talent show. I think I got pictures of the old talent show. Let me call Carlos up. Hey, Carlos, how's it going? Remember the talent show? I was just thinking about you." All of a sudden, you've lost it.
Yep.
So stick to the process. And like I said, taking care of what's visible first will make you feel good. Don't delay the decision process. And again, start at one section at a time and continue until it's done. Even if you have to take small sections, let's say, "Oh, I got 2 hours to do this. That section's only going to take an hour." Well, take an hour. After an hour, you might find, "You know what? I'm good." And you'll do the next one the next day. That's fine too. Because some people, like me, like to stop when some section is done. They don't like to stop in the middle of a section.
Mm-hmm.
Why? Because I know I'm never going to get back to it. That happens to many of us. So there's your sorting. Now your purge, the throwing away of stuff. Decide. Decide where it goes, categorize it, or you're going to throw it away. Not throw it away, but purge it. Purge it. You could sell it. You could give it away. You could take a picture of it, like I said earlier, and dump it. Or, and this is not recommended, but you can do it, put it in a box that's going to be in the attic somewhere. If it's something that it's just a memory, or you don't use it, or you're not going to use it in 5, 10, 15 years or ever, but you want to keep it, hey, it's your organizational plan. Keep it, but put it in a box and store it away. Out of sight, out of mind. Don't mix it in with all the rest of the stuff, because we're going for functionality. We're going for productiveness here. And there's that. I recommend throwing it away, but I'm not going to I'm not going to preach what I can't practice. Assign a place for everything. Put stuff in containers and label them, Now, that's pretty much, okay, so the space, sort, purge. The last 3 are quick. Assign a place for everything. Now you have a place for everything, put them all away. Put stuff in the containerize. Put stuff in containers, in drawers, in certain sections, in places in drawers. Make it fun. And label them. Or remember where you put them, because if you're like me, you can remember where one item is, but you can't remember when you've completely reorganized your whole place. That's too many things to remember. So make it, what's the word? Obvious. Make it, what's the word, Russ? Make it instinctual. Whatever the word is.
Yeah, that would work.
Yeah, make it obvious. Make it apparent. I know there's a word. Anyway, I'll get it at the end of the show. Last but not least, evaluate your system. If you truly want this to be successful and ongoing, evaluate your system after about a month or so. Look back on it. If you have to make changes, and then evaluate next month. If you haven't made a single change and you're that good and you go, oh my God, I love the system, I've adapted to it, it's perfect, then don't do it every month. Evaluate after 3 months or after 6 months. Because here's the thing, life changes, and so must we. So there you go. And that, as it is that. Our little level of, and I'm not too much over. Let me go ahead and take the last few of, and I'm sorry I wasn't attending to you guys. I wanted to just get this all out of here. But let me go back on your, I don't remember where I was, but I'm finding it. Let's see. Okay, Troy left. Mako. Okay, y'all is good working the y'all. Thanks for trying this. Wow, Mako Shark used to be my name. Okay, I heard that one. Okay, so Johnny finally made it. Let me just go down from here, even though I've already done some of these. Yes, I think this was the last one. Yeah. Big Dave. Yep. It's definitely time to get decently organized. It's a beautiful thing. And looking forward to Johnny's videos. J Fabrications. Johnny is fantastic. So guys, go to his channel, right click on those 3 dots and subscribe. It's great videos he has and stuff. Very, very, very entertaining. And we need a lot of entertainment these days. So let's see. I really missed that with my work. Yeah, I'm sorry to hear that, Troy. Yeah.
There's your word, intuitive. When you
intuitive. Thank you. Go. That's the word.
That wasn't me to come up with it.
yeah. I appreciate it. I mean, I haven't scrolled down that far yet, but that's the word. Thank you very much. Yeah. Yep. And Hendricks, Mr. Hendricks, Johnny. Guys, you're always improving what you can get into loops. Okay, great show. Have to go soon to get rid of things for me. Have a great weekend, Troy. I guess you're gone already. And let's see what we got. And the last of the messages. Well, still got a few to go. Great weekend. See you in for more info. Yeah, some of the best design features have been adaptations to original plans. Flexibility is always good to have. And keep in mind, flexibility is fantastic. I completely promote being flexible. But here's the key, and this is what I'm saying for organization. Create a plan, stick to the plan. After the plan is done, change the plan. You can't change something on the fly before the rest of it's done, because you don't know how the rest of it will affect it. For all you know, you might change your mind again by the time the plan is over. So if you want to change your mind as few times as possible, and for your sanity's sake, do it once through, then, I plan on building my entire shop. I plan to plan it out on a, I'm actually going to make a 3D model on SketchUp. This is where everything's going to go, and envision myself in the model. And then, I'll even put myself in the model. And then doing my little woodworking, doing my CNC, doing this, checking how far do I have to go for each thing. I'm going to figure everything. This is entertaining for me. And I'll plan all that out. After I have it all out, oh my God, once the walls are up, I put everything right in its final place. And then I use it for a month. At that point, once I'm using it, if the plan is not always the same as the reality, then you adapt. But you don't start putting stuff in and going, this doesn't work here. This might work better over there. Oh, now this one's got to go there. You got to look at the big picture first, but adapt always. Turn it loose. Let somebody else enjoy the item. Yeah, absolutely. Give it away. Give it away, give it away, give it away, girl. Let's see here. Sorry,
I remember that.
I don't know if it was Weird Al or one of these other rockers, but I know he did a thing on it. And thank you, Mike. Intuitive was the word. And oh well, no, it makes no difference whether you're on YouTube or Facebook. I have both of them are here, and I'm addressing both folks. So it's streamed to both things, so I still see them all here. I should see them all, but sometimes. Either way, thumbs up on YouTube if you are on YouTube. I appreciate it. Always good to get the chat. So. We're only 6 minutes over. Not bad at all. So everybody have a wonderful, wonderful week. And I haven't decided what's next week. We'll come up with something crazy. So we'll see. I want to take it easy because by the way, folks, I'm serious. Send me if you can all your projects that you're doing, because I want to see if at the end of September I want to have a show and tell. So any kind of interesting things that you're doing, if you're doing anything. I know a lot of people are they're relaxing with COVID and stuff like that, so they're not really getting much done. But there's a lot of you that have jumped into it. Send me pictures of your hobby boxes. Send me pictures. That's always nice. Send me pictures of your current build in whatever state it's in. Hopefully it's finished, but videos of it running. Pictures of your finished product, I would appreciate it, and a little note, a little simple email to go along with it. And the email is unzuetajavier@gmail.com, and there it is for those of you who need the email, and to just send it to that and put a title show and tell. And I'll know to put it there. So thank you all for joining us. Have a wonderful week, and we'll see you all next week for whatever I invent.